April 23rd's worksheet's asking you to subtract fractions. We're going to remember the same things from yesterday's sheet. We have to have a common denominator. So your numerator is on top, your denominator is on the bottom. This needs to be common, okay? And common means the same. Okay, so make sure that you have the same denominator. So we're going to look at this. The first one is 1/2 minus 1/3. So I'm going to rewrite these numbers, and I'm going to set up my template to rewrite the number, and then I'm going to have a minus sign, and then I have 1/3, and then I'm going to set up my template for my new number. So 1/2 and then 1/3. We look at those two numbers, and what number do 2 and 3 both go into? They both go into 6. So I'm going to put a 6 here on both. So we want our common denominator to be 6. 2 times 3 gave me 6, so I'll say 1 times 3, and that is 3/6. So I'll cross that out. And then 1/3 to get to 6 is 3 times 2 gives you 6, so 1 times 2 is 2. Cross this out. So now I have 3/6 minus 2/6 equals 1/6. Remember, you're only going to do this operation of subtraction with your numerators. So you're just saying 3 minus 2 is 1, and then 6 stays the same. You cannot reduce 1/6. That is the final answer. Let's look at the next one. We have 3/5 and 2/4. So what I want to do is to think about that common denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my problem, 3/5, and set up a template. And then our minus sign, and then 2/4, and then set up my template for my new number. All right, what number do 5 and 4 both go into? Well, we know that 5 goes into 10, but 4 does not. 5 goes into 15, but 4 doesn't go into 15. 5 goes into 20, and 4 goes into 20 as well. One easy way to do that would be to multiply the two numbers here. So 4 times 5 is 20. That's how we can get that number easier. But you can just go through your multiplication tables and try and see what number comes up first. Now we know that 5 times 4 is 20. So 3 times 4 is 12. So 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 4 is 12. Cross through that. Our new number is 12/20. And then 4 times 5 is 20, so 2 times 5 is 10. So now I have 12/20 minus 10/20. So all I'm going to do is subtract my numerators. 12 minus 10 is 2. Now 2/20 is an adequate answer because it did not ask you to simplify your answers or bring it to lowest terms. But if you look at 2/20, you know that you can divide both of those by 2. Divide it by 2, divide it by 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. So 1/10 could be your answer, but 2/20 would be acceptable as well. Simplifying fractions is a good habit to get into, even if the directions don't say that. Oftentimes on tests, it's going to have the simplified version of your answer and won't have that 2/20. It will just have the 1/10. So make sure you know how to bring those back into lowest form. Simplest form for those so that you can always find those correct answers. You'll finish the sheet the same way. You're just going to find common denominators. The next one, it looks like your common denominator here could be 10 because 10 goes into 10 and 5 goes into 10. So you're only going to have to change this one. So try and use what you know. It looks like a lot of these denominators are going to be fairly simple and easy to come up with as you work through this.